learning to acknowledge what we're dealing with and managing what's going on is probably the smartest thing that we need to do. And then figuring out what actions you need to take. So it's like acknowledging, managing up a situation, and then figuring out what actions you need to take. Pivot, make progress, and you got to prosper. And I said, and that's going to be bigger than any amount of money that they're going to give you if you do that effectively. So what I did is just like you, and I'm watching what you're doing out there in the web. I leaned into what I do. I help people. I was built for this. In 01, even though I'm young, I was in business and I got my ass kicked. 08 and 09, I said never again. And now I'm here again. And I'm like, I'm ready this time. So what I recognized is I like helping people. So what do I do best? I help people. What is the problem human beings have in the world? Their mindset's off. They're having challenges. They're not thinking straight, but here's the benefit. They're home. So what I said is, I've been offering a course, a teleseminar for 17 years from home. I was positioned and ready to do this, $99 a month to run that portion of the company. And instead of putting a couple hundred people a month through our program, we're putting about 4,000 people a month through the program right now. My babysitter, Roland, that never would have listened to me in the past. 15 years ago, when I was 7 years old, she was my babysitter, never would have listened to me. She's at home. She needs to do something different. So she's like, you know what? Let me check out this class. So we are serving and helping and giving all kinds of people right now. And I think if everyone could realize what they really do and share it with the marketplace, I've got ridiculous ideas and pivoting right now that if people would do them, they're massive. And they're all shifting in creativity and perspective. I see that.
Give me your top three.
Top three. Top three. I work with a lot of martial arts studios through one of our friends that we know. And I got into that world. I've got 2,000 studios that we work with. Guy says to me in the state of Kentucky, he goes, Michael, what am I going to do? I got to close my studio. I got 1,000 people in my studio. What am I going to do? 1,000 people in my town, 50 people canceled. I said, all right, what do you do? And he goes, I help kids after school. I said, okay. Well, let me tell you, your market just went from 1,000 people to 250 million Americans that just became teachers that don't know how to handle their kids. You've learned how to master ADD for an hour. All you've got to do is turn around and go, the same skills I've been teaching on the mat for years, I want to give you so you can parent your kids more effectively and you can help them out. I also said to this guy, I said, do you realize that your market is worldwide right now? And a lot of people think, oh yeah, that makes sense, but how do you do it? Listen, every parent right now is asking, how do I get my kids off the TV? How do I get them out there? I said, just invent a term. And the new term I sold to all these studios was, I should have licensed it, but I just gave it to them. I called it the device 30, like the device diet 30. Get your kids off a device for 30 minutes for $10 a week. You're not getting your $200 you wanted before, but you can get 10,000 people at $10 a week. That's more money than you ever were going to make in your life. One of my other students sells yoga pants. She goes, the hell am I going to do? I don't, my boutique is closed. What is every woman in the world wearing right now every day? Yoga
pants. Oh, yoga pants.
Go to every yoga studio and go, give me your list. I will give you 50% of what we sell these for. Let's send women the yoga pants of the week, the quarantine yoga pants of the week. Let's get them out to them. So we've been sharing creativity with people and asking a question like, what are you good at that people want to know? Because when we were kids, Roland, that when Wizard of Oz came around, it was once a year. It was a big deal. We all watched it. I'm certain you watched TV back then, but Wizard of Oz, oh yeah, it's in black and white. It's once a year. Everyone watched it. Now you're watching one show. Bill's watching one show. You got Perry watching one show. Deanna's watching one show. We're all doing different things. There's only one show people are watching right now. It's, what do I do next? Am I doing the right thing? Is there something else I should be thinking about? Am I going to get through this? And what do I do next? There's only 5 or 6 marketing terms that are out there in the world right now. And if you could dial into those, that is the only thinking patterns that are going on in human beings right now for about 85% of the population.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay. And I love the yoga pants thing. That, I think dialing into those other audiences is really cool. Are you getting the word out through ads on your course that you're giving away?
Yeah, we're doing ads. We're doing ads right now. We're giving it away through ads. We're giving it away through recommendations, a lot of Facebook marketing. We're talking to our community like you 5-6 times a week. We're getting out there. I'm doing all the things that I've always wanted to do. I would go to War Room. I'd go to events. I'd come home and go, how do I do all this? And now I'm like, I've got 2 hours a day I never had. No commute, no trip to the gas station, no long dinners, no happy hour. I literally have 3 hours a day back. So I'm utilizing that time to do what I should have been doing in the first place, loving and caring for my audience. There's 3 groups right now, and fighting with any of them is about the dumbest thing you can do. If you got your conspiracy group over here, you've got your let's go dominate the market over here, you've got your scared people over here, and starting to categorize that there's only like 4 or 5 groups, and they want to be talked to a little bit differently. And I don't think it's ever not been that way. I think that we have been blinded by everything going on, but I bet it's been that way for a while right now. There's probably only been about 8 or 9 groups out there, but right now it's about 4 or 5. And not fighting with them is probably your biggest thing that you can do. So I'm not picking a side. But one of the big things I've done is I use the same skills that I've been using for what I would call conflict management, or when I come to companies and I help them with issues that they have. One of the biggest challenge that I'm having is that learning to acknowledge what we're dealing with and managing what's going on is probably the smartest thing that we need to do, and then figuring out what actions you need to take. So it's like acknowledging, managing up a situation, and then figuring out what actions you need to take. It's probably been the biggest thing. I think most people are crippled right now because they still haven't accepted the truth right now that they're not where they want to be, and they need to do something different. I walked into a restaurant the other day, and this is just an interesting thing to say to you and your community. And it's Oregano's, which is like my mid-range restaurant that I go to, not Mastro's, not sushi. And
you have the Monarch Cafe there. That's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, Tucker and I did that. And the guy says, I said, how's business? She goes, we're only down 45%. And I said, only, what, are you crazy? And she goes like this to me. She goes, I go, have you called anybody? And she goes, what do you mean call them? I go, phone? She goes, how do we do that? I said, you dial? And she goes, but who do I call? I said, take numbers. And I go, if your favorite restaurant called you yesterday, Roland, and said to you, hey, Roland, I know you like breakfast from the Four Seasons over here, which let's say you were nearby one. Would you like me to drop off breakfast? It's 10% off. It'll be free. Would you like it? Worst comes to worst, you say no. And the lady goes, we don't understand how to do that. I said, just get a pen and paper and write it down. So like, I think businesses really need to understand that business is about doing a transaction. And if that requires picking up the phone and dialing right now, then that's what you do.
Yeah. And also pivoting. So your employees that can't wait anymore, the smart restaurants are turning those employees into drivers. And as long as
dialers.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have them doing that, then they get to stay employed. You get to continue to make money, and you differentiate yourself from the so-so service sometimes get from an Uber Eats or some of those things, right? And those, some of those people are also overworked, and so they're stressed out, and so it's just, So yeah, I agree with you 100%.
I mean, there's 1,000 turns you're going to do in a good night at a Mastro's. There's 8 million people in Phoenix. What would you rather do? Deliver to 8 million or only do 1,000 turns? So the market is bigger right now if you get serious.